Yo, what's happening, everybody? Just wanted to fill you in real quick on my ninth VIPASSANA course. Absolute standout course for me. It was, there was two standout courses out of my nine. My first course where I learned the technique, which absolutely changed my life forever. It gave me a tool to work with to bring more inner peace to my life, less depression, less anxiety, less stress, less anger, less suffering, and gave me a tool to practice that help me train my mind, to help me think more positive, to help me observe instead of react blindly, to help give me an opportunity to choose how I respond to things rather than just get angry, get sad, whatever. It gave me this space to always kind of have a better opportunity to choose, no, I'm just going to be okay with this. I'm just going to be peaceful. I'm just going to be happy. I'm just going to be positive. It's been absolutely life-changing for me. My first course was phenomenal. My next 7 courses were also good, but nothing really stood out in them. I learned a few things here, I learned a few things there, but until my ninth course, the one I've just finished, was absolutely another standout. I feel like I came so far in understanding certain mistakes I've been making with the technique, things that were holding me back from more inner peace, and I just feel like I got more established in the technique in a bigger way. So I just want to try to explain my insights from this course and what I've learned and share them with you in the hopes that it will inspire you to practice meditation, especially Vipassana meditation. I'm sure there's many good techniques out there. I can only speak for this one because I've dedicated about 1,500 hours to sitting and observing and practicing this technique. And for sure, the change in me has been so significant and so positive, better than I could ever have hoped for, better than any drug has ever done for me, better than any self-help book or any other practice. This has got me somewhere that I was not before, and it has given me the, drugs, they come, they go. The high comes and you back down. Or, maybe you get some benefit and you keep some of it, but Vipassana just creates such a sturdy foundation for you to continue building on. It's like training in the gym. If you train and train and train for years, you get stronger, 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 and then after a while, you're just kind of this strong. And if you don't train, then you slowly lose your muscle, you slowly lose your strength, but all that work that you did, you don't just lose it overnight. And with Vipassana, you get stronger, stronger, stronger in your mind. You're training your mind, and that stays with you. And you just need to do a bit of maintenance to keep it up. And it's absolutely so worth it. I cannot express enough how worth it is to make this a daily practice so that you can reap so many incredible benefits and live in a way that you probably didn't think was possible. I didn't think it was possible to have this feeling of inner peace in me that was never there before, that now I walk around with it and it's just always there. I'm so glad I've created this inside of myself, and I'm so grateful for the Vipassana technique that has taught me this. Just so valuable, and it's never too late to start. And although it might be a long path, I've done 9 courses, 1,500 hours, doesn't matter. Every step forward, every step you take brings more light, more happiness, a little bit less depression, a little bit less anxiety. So, just don't worry about how long the road is, just worry about taking that first step or that next step. So my 9th course, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about Vipassana first. Vipassana is a technique, this is how the story goes, discovered by the Buddha. He tried so many different things. Finally, he said, I'm not going to move from this position until I reach enlightenment, no matter what it takes. Even if my bones get scattered, I don't care. I'm getting enlightened. And he was pretty devoted, clearly. So he discovered a technique. It's 2 equal parts. It is observing the physical sensations on your body. And the reason why you do that, so you observe pain, pressure, tension, itching, dampness, whatever physical sensation you can think of. It's very important that it's physical sensation, not emotions, not thoughts. Physical sensations is a deeper part of your mind. As soon as you see something or hear or smell or taste or think something, the first thing that happens, how you react to that, how your body responds to one of your senses being lit up, is a physical sensation somewhere on the body. Maybe you'll be aware of it, maybe you won't. Now, then what we do, if the sensation is pleasurable, we want it to stay and we get addicted to it. And then when it goes, because no pleasurable sensation will stay forever, when it goes, because you've developed an attachment to it, you suffer. Or the sensation that comes is a negative one. It's pain, for example. And as soon as it's there, you resist it. You resist it and create more suffering for yourself. Instead of just having pain, you have pain and you have the suffering of wishing the pain wasn't there and resisting it and having an aversion to it. What Vipassana teaches you to do is not react, but to observe. Pain comes and you observe it objectively. You look at it. So you feel it and you go into it and you face it and you let it be there as best you can. And that teaches you, so first of all, you're not creating attachments to it by resisting to it. You're not creating an attachment to just looking at a pleasurable sensation. You know it's going to pass. You accept that it's going to pass. And when it passes, you let it go with a smiling face. It's okay. It comes, it goes. They come, they go. Without getting attached to these things, which cause so much suffering for us. That is one part of the technique. Observe the physical sensations. Sounds very simple, and it is. It's extremely simple. You sit, you close your eyes, you start at the top of your head. What's happening here? Maybe there's something, maybe you're, it takes time to develop the awareness to be able to observe physical sensations. Or maybe you'll feel something straight away and you feel a tingle, or you'll feel an itch or some pressure. Whenever you just feel something, you move. You keep moving, you keep scanning, what's happening here? And you're not trying to force a sensation, you're not trying to change it, you're not trying to create something good. No, you just, what is there? There's something there. Is your mind sharp enough to observe it? And over time it becomes more and more sharp so you can feel even more subtle and more subtle sensations. That is 50% of the technique. That is like one wing of the butterfly. The other wing that needs to be equal in size and strength is equanimity. Equanimity is accepting the moment as it is, not craving good things, not resisting bad things, just accepting it. So as you're scanning, no matter what you find, it's all good. Now this has been a big challenge for me in all of my courses. I didn't really understand what equanimity was until my 9th course, around day 8 or 9 of my 9th course, because for me, for many of my courses, I didn't really understand, I didn't really know how to measure if I was actually equanimous or not. So I was observing the sensations and I was sitting with the pain, but was I actually totally at peace with it and just looking at it? Or was I kind of like, oh, that feels good, I kind of hope that stays, oh, that's painful, God, can you just get out of here? Like, I don't want to be dealing with pain anymore. Part of my way of measuring my equanimity was to go to my facial expression. And if my facial expression was peaceful, then I would say, oh, I must be equanimous, I must be peaceful right now. And I'm so glad that I've had a similar experience every course, and finally I was able to use it to understand equanimity better. At the end of every course, after observing and scanning, each time I've done this for 9 days straight, I eventually get this very strong pressure in my head, and it's just pushing right here, and it makes me contort my face like, oh, what is going on here? And when my face contorts, then I have said to myself in the past, oh, you've lost your equanimity because your facial expression isn't that peaceful expression anymore. And it took me so long to realize that your facial expression has absolutely nothing to do with how equanimous you are. The way to measure it is to look at things objectively. You look at it without judging it. So when the pain comes, you're not saying it's this or it's that, it's painful, it's good, it's bad. You just look at it, no matter how it manifests, no matter what sensation manifests. So something that was holding me back from doing that was judgment of my sensations. What I mean by that is, if I had a very pleasurable sensation, a very nice tingling through my body as I'm scanning, oh wow, it feels so good, that vibration through my body feels so nice, because you get a lot of very strong sensations come through when you're just sitting with your body inside the energy field of your body for all these days and all these hours. I would always think, if a good sensation came, I'd be like, yes, I'm progressing. This good sensation must mean I'm doing it right. And then if a bad sensation would come a bit later, I'm like, where did my good sensation go? I was doing it right. Am I doing it wrong now? Why do I have this bad sensation? I must be doing it wrong. And judging my sensations. And what I've realized finally, I think I had smaller epiphanies of this in times, but I really get it now, is that if you have a good sensation, it is not a measure of how much progress you're doing. If you have a bad sensation, it is not a regression or a measure of you going backwards. The only thing you need to worry about is if you're doing the technique, if you're observing your sensations objectively, which means not judging them. Whatever sensation this is, I'm just going to look at it. Physical sensations, looking, what's happening here? I wonder how long this will last. Interesting, looking. That's all you do. If you're doing that, you're doing Vipassana. Sometimes you think that, like in the past, in my courses, I've thought, Vipassana should be this amazing thing. As soon as I start doing Vipassana, I should get this strong sensation and this tingle and this flow of joy, you know, but it's just not that. The technique is just what I've already mentioned. It's super simple. It doesn't get you into this ecstatic state of bliss. It is just a training of your mind to observe your physical sensations, which ground you in the moment, because physical sensations exist only now, whereas our thoughts exist we think about the past, we think about the future. It's always taking us away from the present moment. It grounds you in the present moment, and it is giving you it's training your mind to just observe rather than react. So usually we get an itch, and we're like itching straight away. We get a pain where we shuffle straight away. We try to get rid of our pain. Instead, it's teaching you to just sit with everything, and you get so much more steady because of that. When pain comes, when itching comes, you don't get thrown up and down by it. You're just like, cool, I've sat with this before, and I'm much stronger because of that. Pain, you know, you get used to sitting with these things. You stop thinking that this good sensation you're having, this happiness you're having, is going to last forever. You realize the impermanence of it all. So even on those days where you are very happy and very elated, there's this part of you that knows through experiencing the transition and the impermanence of all these sensations, there's this part of you that knows, yeah, you're happy now, but this is also going to pass. And when it does, don't be sad. Have that knowledge. You know it's going to pass. As it passes, continue to smile, accept it. Instead of being like, damn, I'm not as happy as I was earlier. I wish I was happy like that again. And just adding more suffering to a situation that just is not helpful at all, just adding suffering. Instead of just being peaceful in every moment, accepting every moment however it presents itself. That is the key. So that was a big thing. Your equanimity is not judged by your facial expression. That was a big thing that I had to learn. Thankful for that pressure in my head that was, I think, really just trying to teach me that. And now realizing that equanimity is just about observing objectively. You're not judging good, you're not judging bad. You just look at the sensation. You move. What's here? Pain, tingling, it doesn't matter. Just whatever it is, just look at it. And if you're doing that, you're doing your job. You're doing what the Buddha wanted you to do. You're doing the technique to liberate yourself from suffering. It doesn't seem like you're doing it. It just seems like, what is the point? I'm just observing my pain. I'm observing pressure. I'm observing heat. How does this help me? It's hard to fully explain it in words. I could continue trying, but what you need to do is, it's like saying, why does lifting this heavy thing make your arm stronger and bigger? I'm just doing this thing. It doesn't seem to be doing much. You could sort of say the same about a lot of things, investments into time. But I guess what you need to understand with Vipassana is that there's a whole lot of theory behind it, but also to know for sure, you have to experience it. You have to practice it. You have to try it out and do a 10-day meditation course somewhere. They have them all over the world. Or start practicing yourself and give it a trial to see if this technique is going to change you or not. The yardstick of your progression is not that you won't be angry anymore and you'll only feel joy forever. It's that if you get angry, which you will, then you might not get as angry. And instead of being angry for 2 days or 2 hours or whatever you usually get angry for, you get angry for an hour 45, an hour 30. And as you keep doing this training of your mind and progressing in this way, practicing this technique, you'll notice these kind of benefits. And then there's just this more feeling of inner peace. you have to practice a technique that almost seems like, well, why would that work? Man, it works. Trust me. I've really put in the work and tried it, and you can read testimonials from countless other people who have got incredible benefits and lives changed from that very simple seeming technique of observing sensations and doing it objectively, not judging what you find. Another big thing that I learned during my course was when I would meditate, I would sit and I'd be scanning, but then the habit pattern of your mind, the nature of your mind is to run away and think about other things that you're not meant to be thinking about. You're meant to be meditating. That's what you're there for. So I'd go and then I'd come back and I'd do one of two things. I'd either come back and be like, good work, pat myself on the back. Good work, you came back, now continue meditating. Or I'd come back and I'd be like, damn, you were gone for so long. What were you doing? You're here to meditate, you know? What a waste of time that was. So I judge it one of two ways, either positively or negatively. And a huge part of my growth in my last course was to stop judging that, to stop judging myself in that situation. I'd go, and instead of coming back and having some sort of judgment on myself, which would lead to suffering either by having a positive sensation, going, oh, good work, and then you get attached to that, and then that starts to go, or resisting straight away and going, you were gone for so long, negative, judging myself. I stopped doing that. So for the last 4 days of my course, I was sitting there and I'd go, and instead of coming back and being positive or negative about it, I would just come back and just get straight back into the work. You know, skipped all that unnecessary crap and just get straight back into the job. Back into it. It didn't matter how long I'd been gone for or what I'd been thinking about. All that mattered was coming back and doing this work. That was another surprisingly big realization. It helped a lot. Now, when every single course I've done, I have, at the end of each day, there's a video, and the guy, Goenka, is explaining some of the theory behind what you've been practicing. And every single time that I've heard these discourses, I hear something new in it. There's always something new for me to find. In this discourse, this time, the one thing that stood out for me the most was a poem. And the poem was, "It is easy to be happy when life flows like a sweet song, but the man worthwhile is the man with a smile when everything goes dead wrong." Something so trippy happened at the end of my Vipassana course. I left the course, on the 10th day, you're allowed to go around and talk to everyone and that kind of thing. On the 10th day, I went to the desk where there's all these books. And that was one of the biggest things that resonated in my course, that poem. So in the course, I was like, I need to remember that, or I'm going to look that up when I get home. On the 10th day, I looked around, I saw all these books. There's about 30 or so books about Vipassana and meditation and this and that. And I was like, I'll go over there, I'll see if any of them resonate with me. And I went up to this book, and I thought, I'll pick this one up. Picked it up, opened it, and as I opened it, a page flicked over, and right there was that poem. Of all the books, of all the pages, I literally opened to that page. Tripped me out so hard. Made me feel like that was a really important poem for me, because the poem goes like, even when the worst thing is happening, might as well be positive, might as well see the good in it, might as well keep smiling. Why add to your suffering in these moments? Now, that was a side story, because as I was talking, I forgot what I was going to say. And this is what I wanted to say. So that was another story I wanted to tell you guys. Now, a few minutes ago, I started talking about that because I forgot my train of thought. I remembered my train of thought. Every course I've done, every discourse I've listened to them all 9 times now. They talk about, in the hour-long video at the end of your day, each day, there's one day where he starts talking about this experience that you might have, which is they call it bhanga, which is a total dissolution or something like that of your body. I had no idea what that was. I'm like, what is this thing? It keeps talking about it every time I'm here. I've done 8, 9 courses and I've never had this thing that they keep talking about. I guess I'll just keep practicing. This time, when I was lying in bed, just observing and scanning my body and doing the technique really rigorously over and over and over. Like usually in my courses, I'm thinking, man, I wouldn't mind checking my messages on my phone. I'm kind of bored. I miss this person. Like this is painful. What am I doing here? This course from day 6, after I did that 2-hour meditation, I'm just sitting there like a boss. Honestly, I'm just chilling and I'm like, no, I got nowhere I'd rather be. I want to be here doing this. I see the value in this. I want to just work as much as I can, get as much work as I can in over the next 4 days. So I was so dedicated to it and doing it in a way that was evolved from all the other ways. I understood the technique more. So finally, I'm lying in bed and I think what he's talking about happened to me. My whole body just started, it was weird. It just felt like it all just dissolved. I don't know. And it felt like, it felt like my body was gone. It was such a strong, intense sensation through my whole body. It was overwhelming, actually. Like it was just so nice, so beautiful. It felt so good. And that's what they always say. And I'm glad I've heard it so many times to have realized this. They say it's a very dangerous stage to reach when you reach the Banga stage, because it's so pleasurable and you can get attached to it so quickly. So be very careful when that happens not to get attached, because just like every other sensation, it will come and it will go. And if you just want that sensation to stay, you'll suffer because it's not going to stay. So it came, I was like, whoa, this feels so good. I'm just kind of tripping out with it. Like, wow, I can't believe this like weird out of body kind of, I don't know, like just this sensation, this experience that I've never had before, just by sitting there and just observing my sensation, like this intense thing happened to me. And I did start getting attached, because as it did start to pass, the intensity of it started to wear off. I was like, no, I want this to stay. This is so good. And thankfully I was like, oh no, it's okay. Like, let it go. Just keep doing the practice. No matter how good that was, just go back to all the other boring sensations. Just do it. That's the technique. And anyway, like that, I guess are probably the main things that I learned through my course. Something so awesome since my course is a feeling of inner peace that I've never had before. I'm much more consistently keeping some awareness of my inner body. Generally, we're caught up outside all the time. We're looking outside, we're listening outside, we're thinking in our mind. We're very rarely in our body, and this body has so much intelligence. Our minds are just a collection, for me, of 32 years of thoughts and things I've heard, and a lot of it's bullshit, and you just don't know. It's just a small collection. It's such a small fragment of who we are, yet we put so much importance into here. Who we are, this energy, this being, is created by this intelligence that is infinite and billions of years old. Like, I don't know, I don't understand how this works and who we are in that, but I know that it's much more intelligent than our mind, where we think we know, we have all the answers, and we keep getting proved wrong with things. This is just so limiting. And so keeping some of your awareness all the time on your inner body is a very good start, a very powerful practice in itself. Keeping your awareness of your breath, just always sort of, your breath anchors you in the present moment. It's always consistent. Your thoughts are all over the place. So you can always just bring your attention back to your breath, bring your awareness back to your physical body. And it seems your mind tells you, no, you've got all these problems to figure out. You've got to think about this and all that. And it's just like, nah, don't believe it. If you just go into your body, all those problems will be solved when they need to be solved. And your answers to those problems, your solutions will come from such a deeper, more logical, more intelligent place. So I've been making it a practice to continue maintaining awareness of my physical body, of my breathing, practicing meditation daily. I have missed a few days for sure, but just seeing the value in it, seeing how different I was before I went into that Vipassana course, and coming out of it and getting that reminder, because it had been a while since I did a course, getting that reminder how much benefit there is in this and how life-changing it is. If it wasn't, do you think I would keep going back to course after course and sitting in these positions and doing, like, you know, kind of in a way, it's not boring, but it seems boring, to just sit and observe your body? Like, do you think I would go to all that work, and all these people will go to all this work? It's shockingly worth it. You know, lifting weights in the gym isn't necessarily fun, but it makes you stronger, it makes you fitter, it makes you healthier, and the countless other benefits. And this is just such an important part of your life. Your mind, training your mind, it really is the core to the way you show up in the world and how you react to things and the person that you are, and achieving goals. It can just help everything, having more control over your mind, and not reacting so blindly, and coming out of old habit patterns, and being more peaceful with pain, and more accepting of when good feelings start to go and you don't feel as good as you maybe did before or yesterday. There's just so much benefit. So I would highly encourage anybody who has never done that to do a course. It's a donation-based course. You can go and do it for free if you want. You know, I always pay $300, 350 Australian dollars. That covers the cost for the next person. But, you know, it is donation-based. You pay what you feel. And it's good obviously to pay it forward, and that's what I do every time I go. But people in a less able situation are still able to go and practice, and if you're just willing to do the work, they will accept you with open arms. Almost all the food there is vegan. There's certain things that aren't, but they usually label it, or you tell them before you get in and start the vow of silence, because you don't speak for 10 days there. You're just there to meditate. There's no phone, no writing, no nothing. Anyway, you tell them that you're vegan, they'll label things, they'll have vegan stuff. There's tons of delicious vegan food, a little bit of vegetarian, no meat. So they've got cheese, they've got dairy, which is a massive, massive mistake by them. And I'm sure they'll grow out of that at some point. There are 5 rules that you have to follow. No sexual misconduct, no lying, no killing, no stealing, and something else that I can't remember right now. And just the dairy industry, for example, which they serve to us dairy, it's killing killing the baby animals and the mothers once they're done. It's stealing their milk. Sexual misconduct, the animals are forcibly impregnated in a device called a rape rack against their will, no consent, so it's sexual misconduct. And it's lying, the lying dairy industry, and all the propaganda. It's humane, and we treat our cows so nicely, and we slaughter them humanely, and you need dairy for calcium and all this crap. So anyway, this is a tangent, but it breaks all the precepts, and it's a perfect example of, there might be other things in the technique or the course, if you go and do one, that you might not agree with. I don't agree with that, but I agree with so much in the course, and I'm not going to throw the whole course away just because I know that that part of it is wrong. This is human beings, imperfect beings, trying to spread a perfect message, you know, and there's going to be little mistakes along the way, and they help me and I help them, and they help someone else and they help in a different way, and we all just helping each other, try to be better, try to grow, try to live more ethical, compassionate, peaceful, good quality lives. So don't throw the whole technique away just because there may be something there that you don't agree with. There's still so much good there. Any religion can come. It's not a religion based. You don't need to set aside your faith. You can just, all you're doing is observing your sensations and being equanimous. There's no religion in it. It's something that it's universal. Everybody has breath. Everybody has sensations. And I feel very blessed. Very grateful to have stumbled across this, to have had the desire to put myself in this uncomfortable, unknown situation, to trial out this technique, and then to come back again and again and again. It has definitely changed me as a person. I think it's made me a much better person, much more patient, understanding, loving, happy, just all the good stuff that you want. And I've heard from so many people who have had similar experiences. So it's something you can try if you want to do a 10-day course, which they have all over the world. You can also just practice at home what I've told you, observing your breath. Even though you're just sitting there and you're just observing your breath, and every time your mind goes somewhere else, you just bring it back to your breath. And I know your mind is going to tell you, this is pointless, you have things to do other things. This is one of the most valuable investments you could make in the time you have in a day. There's a really good quote. It is, you should meditate. Everybody should meditate for an hour a day. Unless you don't have time, then you should meditate for 2 hours a day. Now, you don't have to do 2 hours a day. That's my goal, what I try to do, and I rarely get that, to be honest, but that is what I would, in my ideal situation, that's what I'd be doing. If you don't have time for that, you know what I'm saying? 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, it all adds up, it all contributes, it all matters, it all is good. Anything is better than nothing, so just do it. Just start practicing and just give it a trial and see how you feel. If you do 10 minutes a day for a week or for a month, do you notice any difference? Do you feel a little bit more calm, a little bit more peaceful? All of these benefits, a little bit less stress, a little bit less anxious. In situations, you feel that technique is sort of helping you. It helps me all the time, especially when I'm dealing with negativity and people who are hating on me, or in the moment I'm having a debate with someone about animal rights and they're like just arguing with me. Like, man, I did not have this peace before in these situations that I do now. Now I just let it go and it's just their thing, and I just try to come from the best place I can and lead by example. So this has definitely been a big part of the reason why I have been able to do activism in a understanding, compassionate, patient way that has ultimately led to a lot of success. A lot of people have gone vegan, a lot of vegans have become activists because of this approach, and there's many approaches. Obviously, I'm just saying what's worked for me and lots of other people. So that's about it. I spoke a half an hour, geez, and I could keep going, but obviously, yeah, I'm not gonna keep going. So I hope this has inspired you in some way. I hope you have found some hope, maybe, because if you don't think, like, you don't know what's out there for you, how to get through these things, trust me, if you're going through something, you can find some relief, some benefit in practicing this technique. I guarantee it. It's just so good. And a lot of the problems that we have are, increased because of the way we think about things. So that's what this fixes. And it's a long path to get fully enlightened, but every step along the way is a step closer and a little bit more beautiful, where you just stop and smell the roses a little bit more and appreciate where you're at a little bit more, and just a very beautiful path. So that is about it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have got any experiences with meditation that you have noticed, any benefits you've noticed, if it didn't work for you, you feel, maybe share what you have tried. If you've done VIPASSANA meditation before, please share your experience below to inspire other people. If you had a positive experience, I'd love to read them as well. I find it so fascinating, the benefits that people notice and the huge changes that come in people's life. It's always interesting. So that's it from me. Until then, until my next video, or you guys see me on my Instagram story or whatever else, peace, best wishes to you all, good health to you all, and thanks for watching.